You guys, today, Caitlin Clark got fined $200. Kathy, what do you think you are accomplishing by that? What kind of message do you think you're accomplishing by doing? You're not even making an example out of her by finding her an exorbitant amount of money. You are literally making a joke out of yourself by finding her such a
The WNBA finds itself at the center of yet another controversial decision that perfectly encapsulates everything wrong with the league's leadership. This time, it's not about missed calls or biased officiating during games. It's about the league actively punishing its biggest star for having the audacity to call out obvious problems.
We know how this works because Sophie Cunningham has told us how this works. If you talk about the refereeing, if you talk about the officiating, on the InstaFace, on the TikToks, on the Twitters, any of that social media, in the public, in the interview, if you mouth it in the shower, Kathy Engelbert will peek in and look around at you and point at you and be like, you're fined. Even though she won't clean up the officiating in her trash-ass league? Okay.
Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's phenomenal guard, who has single-handedly transformed women's basketball, has been fined $200 for posting refs. Couldn't stop us on Instagram after her team's playoff victory over the Atlanta Dream.
During the game, we saw here, the Fever players celebrating. I would assume, based on the reaction, that this was after the Lexi Hull steal and everything. And Caitlin Clark on Instagram commented this: refs couldn't stop us. Elite bench mob. It wasn't for the lack of trying. Glad they're having fun and celebrating like no other teams. Will she get fined for saying that? Yeah, she got fined.
The timing couldn't be more revealing. Just as the Fever are making their deepest playoff run in nearly a decade, shocking the basketball world by taking down the Las Vegas Aces in Game 1 of the semifinals despite being massive underdogs, the WNBA decides this is the perfect moment to flex its administrative muscle against Clark.
The WNBA's time, or the NFL's time, or the NBA's time, getting fined when you're on their time, criticizing the officials, calling out the officiating. I've seen players get fined for that. But when you're on your own time, well, now, other than Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark seems to be the two players that come to my mind of players getting fined, criticizing the officials, doing it on their own time, quote unquote, off the clock.
Instead of celebrating the incredible storylines emerging from these playoffs, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and her staff are busy monitoring social media posts and issuing petty fines for forward comments that dare to acknowledge what everyone already knows.
It's real. The hate is real, Kathy. I see you hating on us from a mile away, Kathy Engelbert. We all see it. You out here trying to find Caitlin Clark. You out here finding the one person who's actually bringing money into this league. What a joke. You're mad that the Indiana Fever are here right now. Y'all didn't expect us to get this far. Y'all really didn't expect. We got Sophie Cunningham exposing the whole league agenda. Exposing them. Caitlin Clark mocking them all on Twitter, all on Instagram, everywhere. Because they...
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. Let's be crystal clear about what happened here. After the Fever's 87-85 victory over Atlanta in the decisive Game 3 of their first-round series, Clark responded to her team's official Instagram post celebrating their bench with two simple comments: elite bench mob and refs couldn't stop us. That second comment, for words expressing what millions of fans have been saying all season, was deemed worthy of a $200 fine by the WNBA's thought police. The absurdity is staggering.
What world do we live in? Like, I'm pretty sure she just said the refs can't stop them celebrating. This isn't even her going at refs. It's literally like if you say the word refs and you're an Indiana Fever player, you're going to get fined. If you say the word refs as a Fever player, the word referees has to be spoken, cannot be said by an Indiana Fever player, otherwise it's a fine. And the worst part is if they got fined for celebrating, So I don't think only she got fined, not everybody. There's other people on the floor, everything. She's not like they're celebrating. The timeout's been called or the foul's been called. It is what.
We're talking about a league that has allowed systematic targeting of its biggest star all season long. Yet the moment she acknowledges poor officiating in the most mild way possible, they come down on her like she committed some cardinal sin. But here's where this gets absolutely insane. Clark isn't even playing in these playoffs. She's been sidelined since July with a groin injury that ended her second season after just 13 games. The woman who brought unprecedented attention and revenue to the WNBA, who filled arenas and boosted television ratings to historic levels, has been watching from the bench as her teammates carry on without her. Yet, even from the sidelines, even while dealing with the frustration of being unable to contribute on the court, Clark still found herself in the WNBA's crosshairs for the crime of stating an obvious truth.
WNBA definitely got to play these women more. You got to pay these women more. Because what the hell is a $200 fine? This picture right here is giving me Mom Made Pizza Rolls vibes. Mom Made Pizza Rolls and everybody. Ah! Caitlin Clark was fined $200 for her comments she left on the IG post. She said refs couldn't stop us, meaning they advanced to the next round despite the refs trying to throw them a curveball every game, despite having to play against the refs. And the league said, "Oh hell nah, you gotta run me that. You gotta run me that 200. You got to run me that too."
The response from Clark herself tells you everything you need to know about how seriously she takes this ridiculous punishment. Got fined $200 for this LOL she posted on X, accompanied by laughing emojis and a promise that the bench mob will be even more rowdy tomorrow. Her teammate Sophie Cunningham joined in the mockery, joking that the fine would really break the bank for Clark and sarcastically offering to start a GoFundMe. These are professional athletes laughing at the league's pathetic attempt at intimidation.
And rightfully so.
The numbers put this fine in perspective and reveal just how petty the WNBA's punishment really is. Clark's annual salary is $78.66, but her endorsement deals with Nike, Gatorade, and other major brands are worth tens of millions. To put it another way, this fine represents about 0.007% of her estimated net worth. It's not about the money, it's about the principle and the message the league is sending. Instead of addressing the systematic officiating problems that have plagued the WNBA all season, they're punishing the players who dare to point them out. What makes this situation even more maddening is that Clark's comment wasn't even controversial. She didn't attack individual referees by name, didn't use profanity, didn't make threats or personal attacks. She made a simple observation that officiating couldn't prevent her team from winning, a sentiment that could easily be interpreted as celebrating her teammates' resilience and ability to overcome adversity. Yet somehow this warranted league discipline while the actual problems that prompted the comment continue unchecked.
He has got jokes. She retweeted this. That's really going to break the bank for her. Starting a GoFundMe now. Sophie, you got jokes. Hun, you got jokes. Yeah. So Sophie Cunningham Central, I'll donate.
The timing of this fine reveals the WNBA's completely backwards priorities. While Clark was being punished for her Instagram comment, her team was preparing for their semifinal matchup against the Las Vegas Aces, who had just seen their star A'ja Wilson receive her 4th MVP award. Think about the optics here. Wilson, the league's most decorated active player, is being celebrated for her achievements, while Clark, the league's most popular player, is being fined for mild criticism of officiating. It's a perfect microcosm of everything wrong with how the WNBA operates. The broader context makes this fine even more outrageous. Throughout the 2025 season, officiating has been a constant source of frustration for players, coaches, and fans across the league. From the infamous Fever Sun brawl that saw 5 technical fouls and 3 ejections to countless examples of inconsistent whistleblowing and missed calls, the quality of officiating has been a persistent problem that the league has largely ignored. Multiple coaches have been fined for criticizing refs. Players have accumulated technical fouls at alarming rates, and fan complaints have reached unprecedented levels.
Rather than fining players for being excited on the bench and for letting it be known how trash your referees are, why don't you start finding referees for not calling fouls? Why don't you start putting that type of energy into making sure the game is played better? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Because that would be nice. That would be nice if you could do that.
Yet, instead of addressing these systemic issues, the WNBA continues to shoot the messenger. Golden State coach Natalie Nikasi was fined for questioning officiating bias. Fever coach Stephanie White has been calling out disrespectful officiating for months. Even Las Vegas coach Becky Hammond, whose team benefits from favorable calls, has acknowledged the poor quality of officiating in other games. The pattern is clear. The people who know basketball best are all saying the same thing. Yet, the league's response is to fine them rather than fix the problem. The Indiana Fever's playoff run without Clark makes the fine even more insulting. This team, decimated by injuries that sidelined 6 key players, including their biggest star, has somehow managed to reach the semifinals for the first time since 2015. They upset the third-seeded Atlanta Dream in a thrilling 3-game series, then shocked the basketball world by taking Game 1 from the second-seeded Las Vegas Aces on the road, 89-73. Kelsey Mitchell has been absolutely phenomenal, scoring 34 points in that Game 1 victory, the second highest total in Fever playoff history.
This is the WNBA foreshadowing. We're seeing how you're acting on the bench. We're seeing how you're talking to the officials on the bench. We will tee you up. Now, whether I think that she deserves a tee for it or not, we're not even going to get into that. What if this is just saying, hey, we're going to tee you up if you continue to get at the officials, if you continue to talk up the officials, if you continue to show up the officials on the sideline, we're going to tee you up. We're not going to tee.
This should be a celebration of resilience, teamwork, and the depth of talent in women's basketball. Instead, the WNBA decided this was the perfect time to find their biggest star for acknowledging that officials couldn't stop her team's incredible run. It's tone-deaf, petty, and completely counterproductive to the league's stated goals of growth and increased visibility. The contrast with A'ja Wilson's situation couldn't be more stark. Wilson, who just received her record-breaking 4th MVP award, represents everything the WNBA establishment wants to promote. She's dominant on the court, diplomatic in interviews, and never rocks the boat with criticism of league operations. Yet, when she and her Las Vegas Aces faced off against the Fever in the semifinals, it was Mitchell and the Fever bench, the players Clark was supporting in her Instagram comments, who stole the show. Wilson struggled to an inefficient 6 of 22 shooting performance while the Fever controlled the game from start to finish.